Welcome back, everyone, to your favorite and the ultimate anime podcast, period. Unrivaled over here on the Shoujo podcast, where I, Sarah, introduce my good friend Joe to Shoujo anime series, and hence our name, Shoujo. Pretty good, eh? We're covering Revolutionary Girl Utena. We're over halfway now, and these episodes are something. But before, I know, crazy things be going on, and then also let's just pretend nothing happened at the end with our last episode.
Stuff happens, or does it?
Today.
Question mark?
You wouldn't think so with how we're just pretending nothing happens. But yeah, I'm Sarah, and Joe, why don't you catch us up on what's going on in your life? Anything of interest?
Me and my girlfriend have decided to watch all of the David Lynch movies in order of release, which is a thing I like to do.
I've heard that name a lot. Is that a director?
Yes, that is a director.
Okay, cool.
I've probably talked about Twin Peaks before. He's the director of Twin Peaks TV show.
Okay.
Also directed several movies. Not like a ton of movies. Like, I think it's only like around 10, maybe.
Seems like a reasonable amount of movies to direct.
Yeah, so like a totally reasonable number of movies to go through. Right? Like, I feel like there's directors where you can just like watch all their stuff and it isn't too bad, but then you watch like Spielberg movies and you're there for like 4 weeks because he releases a bajillion movies. But yeah, we started with Eraserhead, though.
Like the hero from My Hero Academia.
Yes, the only thing I could think about, because I had watched this movie when I was in high school as part of like a high school film club, which is a very weird thing to watch. But that's all I could think of in My Hero Academia is this guy's name's Eraserhead. And I'm like, is that a reference to this movie? I don't think it is, because Eraserhead, the movie, is like a horror movie about being anxious about having children.
Oh, I should watch that.
And, well, I don't know if you're going to like it. Maybe you will.
Oh, okay.
It's black and white.
Oh.
And, like, there's a lot of really cool, eerie stuff. 1977. Like, it, you know, there was color. It was intentionally.
Black and white. Yep.
There's a, everybody probably knows the Eraserhead babies, like a messed up looking thing.
Oh, like body horror, but with babies?
Yeah, you want me to send you a picture, or do you want to not be spoiled?
Sure. No, let's see it.
This is what the Eraserhead baby looks like.
It looks like a dinosaur.
Yeah, it's like a little dinosaur-looking guy. A pretty gross movie. Like, we did not. I don't know if I liked it, but it is an interesting movie. I'm glad I saw it a second time.
I didn't realize you were in a film club in high school. You're so esteemed.
It was not esteemed. I was just sitting because my friends are in it. I was not like, I didn't know anything about film really. I'm not a film guy. Although sometimes I'm like, I should be a film guy, but I don't have it in me. Because film guys are like, they're so into it. Oh. You know what I mean?
Okay. I've worked with someone who like was a film guy, and he's like the worst person I've ever met, and narcissist and this and that. So I'm like, I don't know if I want to hang out with film guys, because I feel like they're just full of themselves and think they're better than everyone.
I feel like that's definitely a type of guy.
Universally. Yeah.
But like, I'm not like a film guy in terms of like, I'm not really like learning about like the production of stuff and like the, like, you know, like how people make them and all of this. I feel like you kind of have to be that to be like a real film, like an in history kind of guy. I'm just more of like, I should just watch a bunch of movies. Of movies. Because a lot of these movies I'm seeing are good, and I'm glad I watched them later on.
Good.
So, yeah, we watched that. That's been good. I also decided to read a manga that shows up in the Shonen Jump app sometime that I've not read. So I decided to read Chojin X, which is... Chojin? Yeah, Choujin. I think that's how you say that. It's by the guy who did Tokyo Ghoul, I think. And it's pretty good. I like it so far. Or, you know, I basically caught up because it's only like, I don't know, 60 chapters or something. I had a surprisingly good time with it. It just kind of kind of the thing you expect from Shonen Jump stuff, where it's like there's a bunch of kids that get superpowers and stuff happens, but the art's really cool. There's a bunch of like really like messed up looking guys in it. There's like some eldritch horror-y stuff kind of going on at different points, which I think are really cool. But I have noticed something with this, which is that especially, and I guess this is especially true in like more modern, like shonen manga in like stories and stuff like that. But there always seems to be a point where like some big battle happens or like escalation.
And happens in shonen.
But like, and like characters die and stuff like that. And then like something happens that like changes some fundamental thing about the world or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Like this happens in, where does this happen? Like this kind of happens in My Hero Academia, right? Where like you get to the midpoint or like a little bit past the midpoint and there's the big thing. And then everything kind of, you know what I'm talking about? Like that, this happens
with a
in
character. You mean?
No, there's like a big fight, and like the outcome of the fight changes, like
the
setup of the world.
I think so. Yes.
Yeah. So like that happens in this. That happens in My Hero Academia. That happens in Jujutsu Kaisen. That happens in Kaiju number 8. You know what I mean? Like this is a very common thing I feel like is happening. And I have noticed that every time that happens, I never really like it.
The show's worse afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah. It's never really the same for me after that. I kind of stop enjoying
it's like you start watching it because you liked what it was, and then they change it. They take away what you liked, kind of.
Yeah.
I guess to be edgy or whatever.
Well, it's not even like edgy, right? Like sometimes it's just like it, like in this, it's appropriate. Like it makes, like everything that happens makes sense. But then I just kind of feel like something is lost afterward, where it's like we're spending so much time on like the plot or something else that I guess I was just less here for than characters hanging out, which is what the thing I want is.
Yes, that is a thing you love. Characters hanging out.
Yeah. So I just noticed that with this series because I guess it was kind of condensed, or it's a little bit like it's paced pretty well. So, you know, we kind of get to that point and I'm like, okay, that's weird. It's weird that I've noticed that so much, but it really just kind of keep happening. You know, like I think of in Demon Slayer, this also happens when they do the blacksmith arc thing. Like after that, everything's kind of like changed and fast and doesn't really have it anymore.
Yeah. I like that you're just death gripping your tea.
I'm just holding it up.
Oh, I know, but you're like waiting for me to talk so that you can drink. But I'm just.
Oh no, I'm like, well, I'm the one who keeps talking. But yeah, that's been interesting. Anyway, I like that pretty well. I like that series. Also, Chainsaw Man ended.
Oh yeah, I saw that, and that. Nope, that made me think of something else. I was like, I think a new series by the author of Gintama is coming out. I don't know why that made me think of that news, but yeah, lots of stuff going on, coming, going.
Yeah, movement.
Hey, what?
Yeah, there's a lot of movement.
Oh, yes. Yep.
Anyway, what's been going on with you?
With me. Let's see. I got a new app that I think Matt from Manga Talk had suggested, but basically I feel like a little librarian where I scan the ISBN code on each of my books and it logs it. And then, so I did like 2 bookshelves worth of that yesterday. So I'd like to go through all my manga and then I'll have that to reference for what I do or don't have. And that's easier than like updating the spreadsheet, I think. And then once I like start doing my streams where I read through the manga, then I can like each volume I can like rate and that'll log that and stuff. So I was doing that.
That's neat.
Let's see. Oh, I went to the Sherwood Forest Fair this weekend with my sister. I was the 9th wheel. So that was fun.
What does that mean?
There was 4 couples and then there was me.
Yeah.
And so I had gone once before, but I went with people I didn't know that well. So I kind of like stuck with them and didn't but basically this time I was like, you guys drink your mead, watch the jousting. I've seen that already. I'm going to walk around by myself just so I can look at all the vendors and stuff, which I like to do. And I'm very slow when I do it. So I feel like I can't do it the way I would want if people were around. And my sister kept being like, are you sure? Are you sure you want to go off on your own? Are you going to be okay? I'm alone every single day. I will be just fine.
Yeah.
So I got some sweet hats and I got a really cool headband, really fancy little
headband like a crown
and stuff.
Yeah, it's got flowers on it.
I got some sweet stuff, which it's like, I wish I was crafty because if I was into this, I can make so many cool things just for me.
You should get into crafting. Have you ever thought about it? I've been trying to be like, I need to do more stuff again.
Yeah. I maybe. I mean, I was like, I could jewelry making and stuff because we had a mutual friend in high school and she was super into knitting and jewelry making. And so I'd always get these neat little handmade gifts. And that was really nice, but I don't have someone doing that. So maybe I should become the one to do that. I probably won't, but it'd be nice to. But yeah, let's see. I watched the first 2 episodes of Hell's Paradise because my sister had suggested it. I wasn't really doing it there's a badass lady.
The ninja lady.
One of the leads. Yeah, the executioner lady.
Oh, the executioner lady. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not into, or I don't know, the vibe is weird or so. I don't know. It's not
the vibe
drawing
is weird.
me in. I am not finding the weird killers endearing or
yeah, it's kind of weird. It kind of has that it kind of has almost that Squid Game setup where it's here's a bunch of people and half of them are gonna die, and it's but they're all weird serial killers. I mean, they're just going to Death Island basically, right? That's the premise. Yeah,
it almost feels like that movie Annihilation where there's some weird realm within ours and everything's freaky there, and I don't know. Yeah. So I wasn't vibing with that. I binged all of season 1 of The Pit in less than 24 hours, which is that medical show.
Yeah, I've heard it's good.
I was crying a bunch. And then I had a date the next day, and then I wind up with poppy eyes. I probably very sad and miserable. I was no, I was just crying. Till 3 a.m. Let's see. Yeah, no, I think that's all I got.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, cool.
Should we get to Utena? The reason we're all here.
The end of the Black Rose saga.
Yep.
We're gonna take our temperature about how we felt about it.
Yes. The first, I think gonna be a lot of you talking and me being okay, I need to listen to what Joe's saying so that I can understand what was happening.
It's hard to parse. I definitely needed the second watch to be how does all this work again? Even though I'd already seen the show. Yeah.
I feel it doesn't really explain how it all works. We're just very...
yeah.
Or maybe Joe will explain to me how they did, and I just didn't perceive that.
It's we explain some stuff, we get more explanation for how things work than ever before, but also it's not enough to really tell you logically what happened here.
Yes. Yep.
But I don't know. I just watched.
We've got Joe here to do that for us.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me because I just watched Eraserhead, so understanding what's literally happening is not important to me.
You have to for the rest of us.
But let's first go through some voice actors. We'll be saying goodbye to these characters, so I'm going to read 3 today, and some pretty heavy hitters, actually. We're going to first start with the voice actor for Mamiya Cheetah. Mamiya is voiced by Maria Kawamura. She is Belle Torchica in Zeta Gundam. One of my favorite Gundam names, Belle Torchica.
Crazy name.
Yeah. She's Naga the Snake in Slayers. She is Young Freud in Gunbuster. And she is Quest in Char's Counterattack. So lots of robot stuff. I couldn't find anything else I thought we would have known other than those things.
I was going to say, yeah, this seems very of the era
yes.
and up your alley shows.
Yep. So we'll move on. The voice of Tokiko Chida is Noriko Hidaka. She is the voice of Aiko in Utena, so we also got another Utena voice. We're finally getting some of the Shadow Troop here. And we have seen her before we have heard her before as the voice of Sumi Asuba from My Happy Marriage, Mio's mom. So some of this may sound familiar. She is the voice of Satsuki in My Neighbor Totoro, Noriko in Gunbuster, Shalnark in Hunter x Hunter, which is the guy in the Phantom Troop that uses a cell phone. He's got like blonde hair. She's Nier in Death Note. She's Kikyo in Inuyasha. It's supposed to say Kikyo, not whatever that is. And she is Akane in Ranma 1/2, both the old one and the new one.
Nice.
And lastly, the voice of Soji Mikage is Hikaru Midorikawa. He is the voice of Tamahome in Fushigi Yugi. Is that somebody?
He's the main boy.
Oh, okay. Very nice. He's also the voice of Shinkei in Code Geass. He's the voice of Marth in Super Smash Brothers. He is Best Genus in My Hero Academia. He's the voice of Akihiko in Persona 3 and all the Persona 3 things. He's Hiro Yui in Gundam Wing, and he is the voice of Seto Kaiba in Yu-Gi-Oh!
Ooh.
There we go.
Akihiko senpai.
He's here. All right. Let's get into it. Episode 22 is called Nemuru Memorial Hall. We open on Akio and the prince in the castle. We see that the hourglass has run out of sand as Akio tells us that Mikage is down to his last black rose, and he wonders if Mikage himself will fight. We cut to the student council trying to figure out who the black rose are supposed to be. They've realized that they're using students to target Utena, but that's about it. They mostly spend their time speculating that End of the World seems to have aligned with them, so they assume it's somebody at the academy, but they can't really figure anything else out. We jump to Utena at Numero Memorial Hall looking for Chuchu. Mikage finds him and returns him to Utena. Mikage introduces himself to Utena and tells her that he's had his eye on her. He invites her to the seminar, and Utena tells him that she's bad at school, but he clarifies that the seminar is for any strong-willed individual. Mikage asks if she's heard the story of the 100 boys who died in Nemuru Memorial Hall. He says it's a true story, and the hall was named after Professor Nemuro, who died in a fire alongside his students, but that was a long time ago. Utena goes to see Akio, but he isn't at the planetarium. Instead, we cut to Nemuro Memorial Hall, where Mikage is in his office, and Akio comes to bring him a letter. Mikage reads it and said he's not obliged to follow Akio's orders because they're only working together. You're not my boss. We get into a flashback where we see a young Professor Nemuro who looks oddly just like Mikage. Much to think about. Professor Nemuro is a boy genius who is already a professor at a young age. He's come to the academy to do some research of unknown purpose, and the academy is very secretive about what it is researching. He talks to his lab assistant about how there are some rumors that the other research groups are studying the power to revolutionize the world and like something about eternity, but he doesn't really know. Nemuro also asks his lab assistant why they wear rose insignia rings, but he states that they are merely just in style. We hear some gossip from the lab members commenting that Nemuro doesn't know what they're researching, and he's basically being used by the guy in charge as a living computer, because this is before actual computers were that common, I guess, because this was a long time ago. Nemuro, in the future, agrees that he was being used as a computer at the time, but at the time, he really didn't care about that. He didn't really care about anything that was going on around him. Still in the flashback, Nemuro returns to his office and meets Tokiko Chida, who's been sent by the board as an inspector, who's like a lady. They go to Tokiko's house, and the two of them talk, while on-screen hands point at various things, like the increasing number of cats and a picture of a butterfly that we've seen in the confessional. Not always clear why it's pointing to this stuff, by the way.
Nope. I was ready for like a stampede of cats to come, but No.
Tokiko comments that her sand glass timer doesn't seem to be reflecting the actual passage of time as she brews tea for too long. And she says that time appears to be running slower here.
Oh. Okay.
Nemuro tells her that he can't guarantee that his project is going to work, but he's doing the job anyway. And Tokiko is like, that's fine. You're a genius after all. But Nemuro doesn't seem to like being called a genius very much. Nemuro mentions the rumors about revolutionizing the world and obtaining eternity. He comments that they should be grateful for the time they have on Earth and not try to take more for themselves. But Tokiko again comments that she's sure Nemuro can make the project work. Tokiko hears something and gets up to leave. Nemuro follows and sees that she is talking to her brother Mamiya in a rose garden that is attached to her house. Apparently, Mamiya is sick and should be in bed, but he's tending to the roses instead. Tokiko tells Mamiya that she hates people who don't care about themselves. She's like, you need to take better care of yourself. Remember that, it's going to come up again. Tokiko leaves and Mamiya and Nemuro talk. Mamiya has read Nemuro's work and respects him. He tells him that he came to this academy specifically to meet Nemuro. Later, Tokiko gives Mamiya some medication so he can sleep. Afterwards, Tokiko explains to Nemuro that she's here to try to help Mamiya since he has a terminal illness. Nemuro explains that even if they attain eternity, it's not like a medical thing, so it won't help Mamiya. But Tokiko says she believes in it anyway. As he leaves, Tokiko asks Nemuro if anyone is important to him. He doesn't answer, and she speculates that maybe geniuses can't love other people. And Nemuro agrees. He's like, yeah, maybe. We get a montage of him at work, and some of the lab members comment that he seems to be really inspired ever since Tokiko came around. Sometime later, Mamiya and Nemuro talk. Mamiya comments that his sister likely isn't going to be home tonight, but Nemuro clarifies that he came here to see him. Mamiya offers Nemuro some sugar-preserved roses and shows him some dried flowers and comments that his sister doesn't like it when things die and tries to extend their life as much as possible. But he wonders if that's really a good thing. Nothing is actually eternal after all, but maybe a heart that longs for eternity is beautiful, he says.
Doubt it.
Nemuro asks Mamiya if he thinks they'll succeed, and he doesn't answer, implying he does not actually think they will. Before Nemuro leaves, Mamiya comments that he'll let his sister know that he stopped by today, which was very funny to me.
He knows what's up.
Yeah. Later, Nemuro struggles to solve a problem, and we see that he's kept Tokiko's, teacup, which has her lipstick on it. He's kept it in his office.
Okay, I wasn't sure if that was just she was there and had another cup of tea, but I see.
Maybe.
No,
Can geniuses really love somebody else? The answer is yes.
Access, I guess.
They sure can. Nemuro gets a visit from Akio, who gives him a letter. Akio tells him that this is the first step to revolutionizing the world. Nemuro leads the letter and is incensed, saying that he'd never do what the instructions in the inside say. Akio offers Nemuro a rose seal ring, telling him that he's already made contracts with the other 100 boys that work here. Nemuro comments that this is all ridiculous. He's like, even if the point here is to attain eternity, it won't, make her happy. And Akio's like, her, huh? And he's like, okay, and then he drops the ring into the cup, saying it's his, and telling him that his only path forward is to revolutionize the world.
So basically, sorry, I was going to say, so this is kind of like what Mikage does now to people, is like Akio did to him, kind of.
Yes, it's basically exactly that.
Yeah.
Nemuro, from outside or from inside his office, Nemuro sees a man pushing a gurney outside and follows him, and then he gets lost in the hallways and sees an open door. He looks inside and sees Tokiko and Akio making out. Nemuro turns around and sees that the man pushing the gurney is actually pushing one of the coffins we recognize from being in the basement.
Okay, and then Akio must have intentionally pulled her aside to smooch her to get him all riled up to want to revolutionize the world or whatever.
Yes,
sure.
We have seen this maneuver previously with Toga and Mickey's sister.
Yup.
Oh,
man.
Later that evening, the research hall is set on fire. Outside, Tokiko accuses Mamiya of lighting the fire, and he confesses to it. She asks him why, and Nemuro says that it is part of their contract. Like the dinosaurs before us, without their sacrifice, we wouldn't have the energy today to advance. One day, a path to eternity will be opened here at the school. Nemuro says that Mamiya did the right thing, and now even he desires eternity. We jump to the present, where a now adult Tokiko lays some flowers on a grave. She enters the academy.
Okay, yeah. When I saw her friggin' face, I was like, whoa, what happened? Okay, because I did not perceive this as like that long ago in the past. I just thought it was like, this is a crazy school where like everyone should already forgotten that this happened and not that long ago because he appeared to be of a similar age. I did not realize at the time.
This is supposed to be
so I was like, oh, her faces. That's when I kind of was like, ooh.
Yeah, this is implied to be like several years, right? Because it's like the whole research hall burned down and then they rebuilt the whole thing. So, it's probably at least 10 years or more. Let's see. Tokiko enters the academy and passes Mikage in the hallway, but he doesn't seem to recognize her.
Oh, burn. You old lady. He's not into you now that you're old. Oh.
We get the Kogai Shadow Troop. They do a skit about a robot that has been created to catch monkeys. It doesn't age, is physically superior, and never has troubles. And it notes it never gets lonely because it has the company of monkeys. Tokiko comments that it hurts to see her like this because clearly it does get lonely. Aw.
And Mikage is the robot.
Mikage is the robot.
Did catch Choo Choo.
He caught Choo Choo.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Yeah.
Tokiko goes to see Akio. He did not seem to know she was coming. She comments, saying that she just saw Professor Numero like moments before. In the garden, Mikage waits outside while inside, Utena and Anthy, Utena tells Anthy that she doesn't need to do what this mysterious guy says. We don't get the beginning of this conversation, but we just kind of jump into the middle of it. But Anthy says that she has to do whatever this is as the Rose Bride. And Utena tells her that she hates people who don't care about themselves as Mikage watches. And he thinks that Tokiko and Utena are alike. Back in the planetarium.
It is. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I was like, the voice is the same, so can't blame him.
Mm-hmm. Back in the planetarium, Tokiko comments that both Akio and Numero look the same as before, and Akio tells her that as long as somebody stays in the academy, they will never become adults.
That was a revelation, just dropping that casually.
Yeah, we're in Neverland, by the way. I don't know if you've noticed.
I do. No, you know me, not one to notice.
Oh, no, you could not. It's impossible for the audience to notice because time has not passed like that. I was not accusing you.
Well, who knows how much time has passed? It's a pretty good thing China doesn't have anyone else in her life, or else, well, I mean, now in the manga, we have Auntie whatever. Yeah. And now I'm like, if this is the same in the manga, then is it like she gets out of school and her aunt's like decrepit? Because I don't know. Yeah. Anyway.
She steps out and the Statue of Liberty is halfway in the ground.
Yeah. Well, no. Okay, sorry. No, because it must be a very gradual because then people who are going, or it depends what the how big the campus is concerned. Is it because I guess there's dorms and students go to dorms and it appears that there's interactions with people not at school. So we think those people would not be affected by the time whatever, and that they would be older, whatever. Anyway.
You're applying physical logic to a metaphorical phenomenon.
Okay. Yep.
Tokiko says that's wrong. It's bad that you live in Neverland. And Akio asks her about her adult life. She's married and things are going well, so you could be an adult. Akio asks why she's here, and she says she's here to visit Mamiya's grave. The shades go down and the projector turns on as Tokiko comments that for a plant to bear fruit, its flowers have to die. And we see the last black rose get picked as we cut to credits.
A lot going on in this episode.
A lot going on.
Yeah.
So,
Joe, don't ask me mine.
All right. So here's what we learned. 1, Mama is dead.
Yeah.
2, Mikage is actually Nemuro, who was the person doing research in this building and also supposedly died here in this building. It seems like there was a concerted effort. If the history represented is correct, it seems like there was concerted effort at this academy to research eternity and whatever revolutionizing the world means. And by doing this stuff, they have opened up the pathway to eternity, which we know is the castle and presumably the dueling arena, because that's what leads to the castle.
Yeah.
That's what we know.
And time.
Oh, also, Akio's been here the whole time. And it was his plan to get those 100 boys to get killed.
He's got to be the world.
You think he's end of the world?
I think so.
It makes sense. He's doing a lot of stuff.
Or at least to the people, the characters we know, that's who he's acting as. Maybe he's not but feigning or taking on the whatever. Bring it next episode.
You want to go to the next episode?
Crazy yes.
Okay.
I'm like, we can talk, but I'm like, we got more mind bending things.
Yeah, we can just talk about the whole thing. It'll be easier that way.
Yes.
Episode 23 is called The Terms of the Duelist. We open on a flashback of the old research hall burning down, just like we saw it before. We do this because we're going to revisit this flashback a couple of times. In the basement, Mamiya comments that they only have one rose left, but Mikage doesn't think he can beat Utena and decides to try to get her on his side instead. Elsewhere, at the student council meeting, Nanami decides that they need to get Utena on their side if they're going to stay relevant. She's like, yeah, it's easy. We just need to become friends. And Mickey and Juri comment that the student council are not friends, which takes Nanami by surprise.
Get wrecked, Nanami. Maybe they wouldn't shut that down if you weren't the one that was there.
I don't think they would say they're friends with her. Toga or Saionji.
True. Nope, true.
Yeah, Nanami's so innocent. It's very funny to me.
Ugh.
She's like, what do you mean we're not friends?
Oblivious.
Elsewhere, Utena is in the garden looking for Anthe. Mikage shows up and asks her if she's considered joining the seminar. Utena is still unclear as to why he'd want her to join, so he tells her that he's attracted to her and would like to get to know her better, and she's like, wow, okay. Pretty direct.
Bold, yep. She's unfazed because she's just probably getting confessed to you all the time.
Mikage keeps going, saying that he wants them to be friends, and he can help her out if she needs it. But Utena says that she doesn't really need help with anything. But Mikage kind of isn't listening to her. Instead, he tells her that if her friends have problems, maybe he can help with that. You know, just any problem. Let me help you. And Utena thinks that over.
Which is just him trying to find the new candidate to give the last rose to.
It's very funny where he's like, I need to get Utena on my side, which like he could probably do just like by being normal and hanging out. But the only way he knows how to relate to people is by owing them or like doing favors for them. Yeah, so this is very funny. We get some voiceover of young Utena in the coffin talking about how nothing lasts forever. In the real world, Utena wakes up because that was all a dream, and she has fallen asleep on her table, like the table they used to study. And she looks over and sees that Anthe is asleep nearby with her hand on top of hers. We get a brief scene of the two hands like against a black background slipping past each other. Not relevant right now, but maybe something to remember. Back in the scene, Utena turns her hand so that she's holding Anthe's and asks her if she really can't quit being the Rose Bride. But Anthe cannot respond because she is asleep. The next day, Utena goes to Nemaru Memorial Hall to talk about Anthe with Mikage. Mikage, who's in his office, gets a visit from adult Tokiko who tells him something that like Utena's here waiting for him in the hall. Then she tells Mikage that she's leaving, and Mikage is super chill and just kind of like whatever about it. And she tells him that when he asked her to be his secretary, she was surprised. But honestly, he hasn't really seemed to have changed at all. And then she's like, whatever, I'm going to be free of you now. But she does wonder how he sees her now as an adult woman. And comments that the man she fell in love with isn't this boy that she sees now. Mikage asserts that she is who she is and he is who he is, and then she leaves. In the entrance hall, Utena stretches while looking at a bunch of framed photos on the wall. Tokiko passes her
Sorry, always stay in limber.
Always stay in limber.
Ready for a duel at a moment's notice.
That's right. Maybe sooner than she thinks.
Yeah.
Tokiko passes by her, and Utena notices that one of the photos on the wall is of Kanai in her dueling arena outfit. She's like, wait a minute. And then she notices that a lot of the other photos are of all the other duelists from this arc in them. So she's like, oh, We cut to a space in front of Nemuro Memorial Hall where the spirits of the 100 boys who were sacrificed talk about how the way to eternity has been opened. And they also speculate that Mikage is done for and they'll have to carry on without them as they celebrate. Elsewhere, as if it's in a painting, Mamiya comments that the 100 boys are selfish. And the only reason the castle appeared at all is because of Mikage. And Mamiya asks Mikage if he will try to revolutionize the world and gain eternity. This scene is ridiculous because, like, Mikage is, like, lounging in a bed. And Mamiya is, like, standing there with a bunch of, like, roses. Like it's a painting. It's very weird.
Can we also say, or what did you think of his style then versus now? I guess it was, like, I was digging the purple tinted glasses he used to wear. Those were pretty sweet.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he used to have more style, I think.
Yeah. Back in the whatever era, freaking 60s or whatever time took place.
Yep. Mamiya asserts that his life is but a mere moment, but he wants to be eternal. We get a repeat of the scene outside of the research hall on fire. Back in the present, Mikage appears beside Utena, and he looks over at her, and we see from his perspective that he sees her as Tokiko, and he also refers to her as Tokiko. He tells her that she doesn't need to regret abandoning him, which is a pretty interesting thing to say, considering that the real adult Tokiko just told you that she's rid of you. Utena accuses Mikage of manipulating all the previous duelists, but he asserts that they all had memories they couldn't forget and fought to preserve. Or in other words, they try to change their lives according to their memories. Mikage asks Utena about her memories. Isn't that kind of what she's doing? Acting like a prince in order to reconnect with her one true prince from her memory? Basically the same thing as making her memory eternal? Question mark? Mikage tells her that in order to do that, she's going to need to revolutionize, but before he can finish, Utena punches him in the face.
Get it. Find a punch. I'm sick of all this slapping. Let's throw some real blows here.
That's right. She pins him down to the floor while yelling she's nothing like him. And Mikage accuses her of getting defensive because he's right about her memories being her main motivation. Utena sees the rose seal ring on his finger as Mikage tells her that only those with beautiful memories are allowed to wish. He tells them that they're both the same and they can never stop wishing that their memories can be made eternal. Utena gets angry and challenges Mikage to a duel to prove that they aren't alike. What do you think about this? Do we want to wait or do you want to talk about it now?
Let's talk about it now. Tell me everything.
What do we think about his assertion that everybody in this arc is fighting to preserve their memories?
Well, it's like I didn't think. Well, I thought it's interesting. Memories isn't a word. A word I would have used to describe what it was they were fighting for.
Yeah. I looked it up.
More like look it up.
I was saying I looked up the word they specifically use, and it like the word they're using is actually memory, like a thing you recall.
Okay. Well, it's more like because it's like what the memory is more of like their feel, like, I don't know, the memory of the feeling they had in the memory more than like the moment.
Yeah. It just relates to the past. Like, I don't think it has to be like an atomic moment they're trying to create, right? But it's like, Kanai was worried about growing up. That's related to being in the past. Kozue, Mickey's sister, was concerned with him growing up, which he didn't want to have happen. Who else was in this arc?
Freaking the kid, the boy.
Suwabuki, yeah. He wanted to grow up.
Yeah.
So he was wanting to move forward.
Yeah, and then we've got freaking roller skating chick.
Yep.
What Wakaba.
Keiko. That's her name, Keiko. Yeah, she wanted to preserve the memory of her walking with Toga. Or basically, she wanted to preserve the idea that she was allowed to love anybody, which was an idea she had when she was a kid.
I mean, it is okay, I guess. memory just seems like it's not it just doesn't.
It's not like, I mean,
feel
so
like
it's
the
a little
appropriate term.
Yeah, it seems a little confusing because Mikage is literally trying to preserve a memory. Like that, this whole episode and the last one is him trying to do that. Whereas, and Utena is kind of trying to do that in a like abstract way.
Yeah.
I mean, she wants to meet her prince, right? Like that's the main thing, which is kind of like, I mean, she's not trying to recreate the memory. She's not trying to live in a memory, but she's trying to manifest that back into reality.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of works. It's a little weird.
Because he says it's what it is doesn't mean he actually fully understands what's happening.
Right. He could also be projecting
of it. Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get back to the episode.
Yeah.
Mikage retreats to the confessional. As it descends, Mamiya, through a series of flashbacks, talks to Mikage, asking him what he hoped to achieve with Utena. Mikage shows Mamiya his tears and thinks that Utena might have killed him if she hadn't seen the ring, which is a very funny idea. I do not think she would have done that, dude.
Nope.
He relates Utena hurting him just now to how Tokiko hurt him and thinks that they really are the same. And he says that he hasn't changed at all, while Utena has gotten closer to the power of Dios, and if he can't beat her here, then he's never going to advance. Mamiya hands him the last black rose through the flashback, and Mikage hits the bottom to the basement. Elsewhere, Utena looks at her ring and thinks about what Mikage said. Suddenly, Wakaba jumps on her and asks her what she's been up to, and then she reminds Utena that she's always going to be on her side. We get the Kogai Shadow Troop. They do a skit about a middle-aged man who gets annoyed for being scolded about things because he used to be the class president when he was in school. And at the end of the skit, he decides to re-attend school in his daughter's place so he can relive the glory days.
Mm-hmm.
Don't peak in high school.
Nope. Definitely didn't do that.
We cut to the duel. No absolute destiny apocalypse. We're just here.
No. Yeah.
On each desk is a picture. Yeah. On each desk is a picture of Tokiko and Mamiya.
I guess it's because is this the first time she's issued a challenge? No, that's not true because she re-challenged Sayonji back for.
Yes. Yeah, she challenges Toga and she challenges Sayonji at the beginning, but this is the first time she's issued a challenge as the current champion.
Oh, okay.
Utena draws a sort of
elevator this time. So sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Continue.
Took the elevator this time. Utena draws the Sword of Dios and the duel begins. They fight, and Mikage is pretty good. Utena accuses Mikage of being a manipulator, but he counters that all of the duelists that came before him came to him of their own free will, but Utena does not accept that answer. Mikage keeps accusing Utena of fighting for her memories, saying that she also wants to make something that she remembers eternal, and this whole time he's calling her Tokiko. Utena does a backflip, and Anthe comes to her so she can, give her the power of the Rose Bride when she lands, and it's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
However, Mikage knew this was going to happen and is going to strike her as she lands, but is stopped when the voice of Mamiya tells him that he is going to lose, and he stops to see where the voice is coming from. He looks at one of the photos on the desk and sees that the Mamiya in the picture doesn't look like the Mamiya we've been seeing up to this point. Mm-hmm. Instead, the one in the picture looks like a boy who could more plausibly be Tokiko's biological brother.
Yep. Quite a cute kid. Little freckles.
The voice of Mamiya continues, telling him that he's going to lose as Utena attains the power of the Rose Bride and the Prince. Mikage tells Tokiko that eternity is within his reach and can be used to deal with her brother's crime. And then we get another run at the flashback of the research hall being burned down, but this time it's revealed the truth, which is that Mamiya was not there and Numero was the one who burned down the hall himself. And it was there that Tokiko rejects him. Mikage now realizes his memories of Mamiya are false as Utena rushes at him. We cut to the planetarium. Akio gets a phone call from Nemuro, and Akio tells him that the Mamiya he has been seeing was created from his lingering regret over Tokiko. In reality, Mamiya died a long time ago. Akio continues, saying that the illusion of his memory stopped time for him, and Akio took advantage of it. By staying eternally 18, Akio could use him for as long as he wanted, but now that's over. We cut to Utena and Miki walking past the ruins of Nemuro Memorial Hall, and Miki tells her that the building burned down a long time ago, but he can't really seem to remember anything else about it, because it's just a ruin. Utena loses interest and continues to look for Anthe.
Okay, what is happening?
What do you mean?
The building's not there?
The building's not there.
But We've seen the building.
We've seen the building.
People went in the building.
People went in the building. Let me just finish up and we can talk about it.
Okay.
We jump back to the planetarium where Akio talks to the Mamiya we've been seeing, the fake one. And he tells him that Mikage isn't at the school anymore, so don't feel bad for him. And then he's like, well, technically he was never actually here at all. Kind of like how you were never actually here, fake Mamiya. And we cut back to fake Mamiya and see that Anthe is now standing in his place. She turns to look at the camera as we cut to credits.
Okay, so it was her the whole time?
It was her the whole time.
Because we never saw the... Okay.
Presumably.
So she be shape-shifting.
Yes. Anthe can do some stuff.
Okay, because I thought I remembered that, like, when we first saw Mikage and Mamiya, it was, like, weird vibes between them, where it was, like, almost felt like they were a thing.
Yep.
I feel like... Okay.
Well, there was the thing where he's like, Mikage was like, we should make you the Rose Bride. And Mamiya is like, shouldn't I be the Rose Groom? And he's like, no.
Okay. I think at the end of this episode, I think I literally said it out loud, like, what the fuck?
Yep.
Like,
all right.
Okay. Tell me everything, Joe.
Okay. What part of this is unclear?
Well, I don't know. Okay.
Where do you want me to start?
Okay, so Mikage / Nemuro has been here the whole time.
Yes.
After the fire thing, changed identity, whatever, and that was a while ago. So fades from the memory of people. It becomes a school legend, whatever. Is that right?
Yes. So Nemuro dies.
Oh, like for real?
I think so. Because it says he dies in the fire. But my understanding is, okay, so he lights the fire and Tokiko rejects him. And then something happens to him. We are heard, the legend of Nemuro Hall is that he also dies in the fire. So I assume that he goes back in and dies or something. But anyway, the main thing, the important thing that happens is that he's so obsessed with his memory of Tokiko that time stops for him. And he gets stuck as like a specter of himself at that time. Like he's unable to become an adult or do anything, presumably because he dies.
Okay.
So he's like a ghost.
There's actually a time thing happening. It's just that for him.
Well,
because he's not real. What?
There is actually a time thing happening. Or there probably is a time thing happening. Here's what we know. Logic doesn't work in the academy. There's something about the academy, the fact that the castle is here and eternity is here, screws up how this place works.
Which it sounds like the castle didn't show up until after Nemuro.
Yeah, by him
something?
doing this, by him lighting the research hall on fire and killing all those people, that creates the conditions for the castle to appear.
Okay. Okay, and then so what? Everyone who's interacted with him up to this point, that was just like all in their heads?
No, because these duels count against the duel counter. Like the thing that's important about this arc from Akio's perspective is that Utena passes a certain number of duels, right?
I thought it was the prince that was wanting it to happen and not him. Or he wants it to happen too.
I mean the prince
so
is...
I was right that he's the one who's been like taking whatever she says to him and sending that into Mikage as like, okay, here's a candidate for another Black Rose.
That seems likely. Because we know that Anthe works with Mikage in order to entrap all of those people.
Freaking Anthe.
Yeah, because if you remember, like the episode with Wakaba, where she's like wearing the hair clip when she passes by here, which is the thing that sets her off.
Yep,
that is Anthe participating. And in the very first one, where Kanai goes to the basement, it's Anthe as Mamiya who stabs her with the Black Rose.
Oh yeah, now I gotta think of all the times that we've seen it. It's Anthe. Well, it's Anthe. Okay. Well, Anthe's all tired, or she's like, "Why am I so tired lately?"
Mm-hmm. She's been tired the whole time also.
Because she's been expending magical points to transform.
Yep. Because she's been busy with her side job.
Okay. So then is Akio really her brother?
I don't know.
Is Anthe a boy or a girl?
Good question.
Is Anthony even Anthony's true identity?
I don't know.
Yes, you do. Okay.
All right.
Is there anything else I should be asking clarifying questions about that you think I missed?
So my interpretation of all this stuff is that, like, Mikage is a illusion that has manifested itself into the real world at this academy. And so all of that stuff does happen, but at the end of it, none of the, like, student characters remember it.
Because it didn't happen?
But it does happen because it moves the duel counter up.
Okay. Uh-huh.
But this also clears up some stuff, right? Because, we're talking about, how we talked about at the beginning of this of like, well, what happens if we kill Anthe and she gets replaced with Mamoya? The answer is nothing because they're the same person.
Right. Okay. Then basically the Black Rose whole thing is just a ploy to get more duels on the clock?
Possibly. I mean, it does seem like Akio would have been okay if Mikage had succeeded.
Yeah.
But he also seems okay with him failing.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, now I'm like, okay, we got a zany episode that seems not related. I mean, it references old episodes, but like,
the next one? Not
reflecting on this, but it's like, what the heck is the next for real episode gonna be?
I don't know. I mean,
I'm assuming it's none of this is gonna dawn on Utena. She's just gonna carry on as normal, unfazed.
Maybe. I mean, we learned. Well, yeah, Utena doesn't remember anything, right? So she can't learn this. But we, the audience, have learned something about the nature of the duels, right?
Wait. Okay, sorry. Talk about that more. So Utena doesn't remember.
Well, presumably she doesn't remember her duel with Mikage because she doesn't remember the Nemeru Hall, which means she doesn't remember his explanation that everybody's fighting to preserve their memories and gain eternity so they can create a world where they can exist in their fantasy.
Okay. So, okay. I was like, okay. But she remembers everything that's happened up to this point, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it seems like the thing with these duels in the Black Rose saga is that people don't remember the lead up to the duel and the duel itself, right? Because all of the previous duelists kind of acted like they didn't have their breaking point either. Yeah. So I assume that's the same for Utena with this duel.
Okay. Do we talk about the next episode now?
We can. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
The episode. This is the most confused. This is the most crazy plot stuff we've covered on the show.
Yeah.
Or hard to interpret.
Yeah.
This is a weird show.
It's a weird show. But I mean, again, we get some critical stuff here, in terms of the big ideas of gaining eternity means you're able to. It essentially means you're able to keep some fantasy or memory. He frames it as a memory, but we learn that his memories are actually false and they're not real. Kind of like how Mickey's memories weren't real. It's the fantasy you have about your life, but you frame it as a memory, a thing that happened to you, even though it isn't really the thing that happened to you. And by participating in that contest of trying to make that eternal, you stop aging. Time kind of gets held still. Like Akio says, nobody becomes adults. I don't know if it means you literally stop aging, but you don't become an adult if you do that.
Gotcha.
If you're at the academy.
Okay. I guess I'll be curious to see I'll be curious to see how satisfied or how much I feel like I, at the end of this series, feel like was explained to me, or how much it's gonna, what percentage is it gonna be I could understand from watching it versus having to have you explain it to me.
Yeah. And I mean that's just what we know so far. We could learn something that it's not true. Maybe that's only true for Mikage, you know what I mean? We're not at the explanation, but we are arriving to the part of the show where we're going to start getting some explanations, and they're going to be like this.
Yeah. Thank God we're doing this. You're welcome, listeners, for this. How do they watch this without some kind of guide? Yeah.
But now, retro, this is why, watching it twice is actually pretty fun. Because it's now that I think about how time doesn't work correctly at the academy, I'm oh, this is why Mickey is always using the stopwatch. He's trying to time. He seems to know it's not working right, but he can't really figure it out. So he just keeps measuring it.
Oh, interesting. Okay. All right.
Yep. So there we go.
Okay.
We can do the last one.
Yeah, this should be quick.
This is pretty easy. Episode 24 is called The Secret Nanami Diary. This is another clip show episode, and the framing for the episode is that Mitsuru lands in the hospital after saving Nanami from a wild horse. While in the hospital, Nanami, Utena, and Anthy discover his secret diary he keeps about Nanami, and they read it while he is powerless to stop them because he is naked in the hospital bed behind the hospital curtain. They read his diary, and we get flashbacks to Nanami scenes from previous episodes in this arc and the last one. So, in case you forgot some old stuff, you're getting it again. Most of the time, these have like an added scene where we see that Mitsuru was there watching it happen just off screen. So that was kind of cute.
Mm-hmm. I know. There's some funny ones where it's like, how did no one notice him?
Yep.
Like directly under your feet.
Yeah, it's a very goofy episode in terms of that stuff. I'm not going to go through any of them, though. You can watch this episode yourself if you want to watch this clip showed. About halfway through the episode, they get to the part of the diary where Mitsuru describes his strategies for winning Nanami over. We get a fantasy scene where Nanami lands in the hospital with amnesia, and Mitsuru introduces himself as Nanami's big brother. And he's like, that's plan number one. In another fantasy, Mitsuru is able to stop Cow Nanami from charging Utena like she does in that one episode. And he voluntarily becomes a cow himself. And they both just are cows forever. That's scenario 2.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, Mitsuru comes out to stop them from reading more strategies for winning Nanami over. And at some point in his argument with them, the bedsheet falls off. And Nanami is so scandalized by seeing him naked that she falls out of a window.
It's crazy.
Nanami wakes up in the...
Okay, sorry. Yeah. I was like, what force could she be falling out of a window, and how fragile is that window for a person to bust through it like that?
I don't know,
That's crazy.
You're so scandalized. You just throw yourself out of a window.
Yeah.
Nanami wakes up in the hospital to Mitsuru writing in his diary. She snatches it from him and reads through it as Mitsuru yells her not to read it. We end with the Kogai Shadow Troop, and they do a skit about... having various secrets that they all know. And at the end, they reboard their spaceship and fly off to wherever they're going to be next arc as we cut to credits.
The shortest recap ever.
Yep. I like how...
Easy peasy.
I like how compared to the first recap, which like goes through all of the duels, this one is like giving you nothing relevant.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's, it's cute.
Well, let's
I mean, it was funnier than the first clip show episode.
It was. I agree. It was. I did. Yeah, I feel like I needed this after the last two.
Something funny. So in my Plex server, because I have the DVDs for this, I ordered the episodes incorrect. So I watched 22 where they do the flashback, and then I played 24 where it's a clip show, and I'm like, that's a weird place to put this. And then I watched 23 with the duel with the Kage.
Okay.
And then I realized I mislabeled them, so I had to go put them back.
Okay. I mean, I want to put it past them to pull stuff.
I know. I'm like, this is really a weird thing to do, though.
Yeah. Oh, man. Crazy. Crazy.
Yep.
Okay. This was a popular show.
Yep.
Were 13-year-old kids at the time better at understanding what's happening than me at 32?
I don't know. The thing about it, like, this would have been hard to watch, right? Because, like, it's not like you have streaming. You can't rewind.
God forbid you miss an episode.
Yeah, if you miss one episode, you're cooked, right? Like, it's over. So I think a lot of like what people liked about it was like the visuals and the montages and that stuff. I would assume that that's the stuff people initially like latched onto, and like each episode kind of stands up on its own, right? To a certain extent.
Yeah, this being in the dawn of internet and forums, that this would have been like driving people to understand what it was by looking it up online or chat rooms or whatever.
So I assume there was a lot more of that. And there's also, like a week between each episode. So that's plenty of time to go onto your favorite forum and ask people what's going on or like what you missed and listen to everyone's fan theories. So no, I don't think 13-year-olds were picking up more of it than you are. I think they probably just had more chance to talk to their friends about it.
Okay. Well, and here I am talking to you,
That's right.
my friend, about it.
This is the way you should watch this. I don't think you should just watch this on your own and not talk about it with anybody.
Nope. Oh, man. Okay. Well, and our last arc is called what again? Like freaking end of the world or some crazy
The Apocalypse Saga.
Okay, yeah. So Apocalypse. So is it going to be like, okay, so for eternity to even appear to us, we had to kill 100 people. What do we got to sacrifice to actually reach eternity? And that's the apocalypse, maybe?
Yep, maybe.
Did that make sense? Well, you already know.
Well, apocalypse means the end, right?
You're like, Sarah's so wrong. I can't even pretend to go along with that train of thought.
The apocalypse is the end, right? So something's happening. Something's coming to an end here.
And the duplicity.
Uh-huh. How do we feel about Anthe?
I knew. Well, Anthe's a good actress.
Yep.
Like playing the scatterbrain Anthe, and then the like freaking. Okay. Good thing this is the last arc is the longest stretch, I think, right? This is 39 episodes.
Yeah, there's 15 more episodes.
Okay. So throw in a couple more comedy bit episodes probably, but hopefully each actual plot episode gives us more. I'm assuming we'll do another like finishing off the storyline for each of the student council people, which is like 5 episodes, because we still gotta have freaking Toga snap out of it.
Yep. We do need Toga to come back.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. So interested to see where we go from here.
Yep.
Sweet.
Cool.
And where our listeners can go from here is
you can open your app. You're in the app. You're on your computer. Go to where you can rate us 5 stars and then rate us 5 stars. It helps us out. It helps us gain rankings in the algorithm, which is important for various reasons. And by various reasons, I mean discoverability, baby. Let's get those numbers up. If you have things you want to say to us about Utena, maybe you don't like any of the stuff I just said and think it's wrong. That's not how time works, Joe. Other stuff like that. You can email us at shoujopod@gmail.com.
Yep. You know what I think we should do moving forward, or maybe we can consider kind of changing our what we learned.
Okay.
Oh my, your favorite segment, blasphemy for me to even suggest changing it. What if it's like we have an episode every episode or that we do, we have like a question pulled from what happened in the anime episode that each of us has to answer. Like, I don't know. Have you ever started fire or something crazy? But
have you ever killed 100 boys?
Maybe that could be fun.
Yeah.
We have it
what's
prepped in advance, and we could think.
What's you want to prep it in advance? Is that really the goal here?
Okay, well, maybe moving forward, but okay. How about have you ever? Oh God. I don't know.
I hope you don't edit this and you just leave in all the time you take thinking of it. What's a good one? This is your idea. I don't know. I still don't really understand the idea.
I didn't think of this until now. Scroll back through the episode notes. Let me get a refresh.
You want something like a question that's brought up by the episode?
Well, okay, how about it could be something like that. In this situation, what is a show or movie or something that had some crazy plot thing that you just did not understand or something like that? Is that what
this weekend I watched Eraserhead by David Lynch. I'm very confused about significant parts of it.
On your second rewatch.
On my second rewatch. How come, how am I supposed to feel about this industrial setting? The ominous humming of the pipes and being in this industrial wasteland. What does that mean to me? Is it good? Am I supposed to feel good about that? I feel like maybe I'm not supposed to feel good about it.
My example is something that I think I mentioned recently on the podcast, but I cut it because something went wrong with the recording. But Basically, when I was a freshman in high school, my English pre-AP class read a book called I Am the Cheese, which I read, and then I rolled up test day and people were talking about it in advance, and they're like, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it was all a dream. He was in a mental hospital, and I'm like, what? I thought he went on this adventure. Wait, what? And thank God I knew that before I took that test.
Oh my God. Wow. Right, so what I learned is that if you're about to take a literary test about a book you're supposed to read, maybe you should at least skim the spark notes a little bit. You know what I mean? At least make sure that you like got the conceit down, you know? Maybe go
Spark
read.
notes were frowned upon.
Maybe go read some fan theory blogs, right? Like that stuff's useful for any reason, you know? It's fun to think about what other people think about it. Don't just try to interpret it exclusively on your own. I mean, you should start trying to doing it on your own, but you don't have to leave it there. You can see what other people think's going on, because that's kind of interesting too. I think we should probably keep the what did I learn bit is what I'm saying here.
Gotcha. What I learned. Don't listen to Sarah. She's supposed to be like leading this, but Joe does all the work. What does she know about podcasting?
Okay, now you're making it sound like I'm a huge jerk.
No.
I know you don't like this segment because we ad-lib it.
We ad-lib everything.
That's true. We do ad-lib everything.
Your plot.
Yeah.
Well, ad-lib, is that short for something?
I think it's Latin.
Okay, I was gonna guess, is that Latin? I didn't say it. I should have, because then I would have sounded smart. Damn it!
It is a shortening of the phrase ad libitum, Latin for at one's pleasure or as you desire.
Gotcha. God, that's my whole life. Just ad lib in life.
Yep, ad lib in life.
Okay. Well, I guess we can wrap the episode now. Yep. Yeah, okay. Well, crazy ass episodes. Hopefully, maybe you knew and it was entertaining to listen to me struggling to grasp what happened. Or you were like me and Joe's guidance was greatly appreciated. Either way, we appreciate you guys for listening. And we'll catch you next week where we cover episodes 25, 26, and 27.
That's right. New arc.
On Shoujo. Yeah. Last arc. See you then.
Yeah.
Signing off.
Signing off.